Okay, let's go over this net present value situation that could relate to your personal life. Okay, let's assume you could purchase iTunes for the next 8 years at $480 per year. Or you could instead make a lifetime streaming music purchase license for $1,200 today from Rocky Riley Music Streaming Service, Inc. Now, to simplify the calculations, let's also assume you have a terminal illness and your life expectancy is 8 years. You intend to listen to music up until the day you die. Your current investments earn an average rate of return of 9%, and so this would be the appropriate discount rate to use in calculating net present value. All right, so with this information, I laid out this table. Okay, I said, what's the time period? What's the incremental cash inflows? And then I go through the calculations. Let me slide this out of the way so we can see the calculations, or at least the cash flows at this point. So time period 0 would be today, and then we have these 1-year payments. And we're going to assume you have to make the payment at the end of the year. Okay, I didn't put that in there, but that's the assumption we're going to go with. Okay, so if we go with iTunes, we're going to pay $480 at the end of the next 8 years. If we go with Rocky Riley Streaming, we have to pay $1,200 today, and then there's no other payments. So our relevant cash flow in this situation would be the savings of going with Rocky Riley Streaming Service over iTunes. And there's our cash flow situation. Now, we also need to put in the interest rate, which was given as 9%, and then we have to calculate net present value. So how we would do that is we would say equal NPV, hit the left parenthesis, come up here to the insert function button, and we get this nice pop-up. This is how I would do this using Excel. Of course, you could use a calculator or use an online calculator as well. All right, so the rate is given in cell E24, and then we list the values, and the values have to start at the end of the first year, right? Because NPV assumes, you can read this here, a series of future payments. So it's future, not today. Okay, now if I hit enter here, that's just the present value of the positive cash flows. So the next thing we have to do is add in that negative amount or subtract out the initial cash outflow. And so what we see is we have a net present value in this situation of $1456.71. So let's click and make sure that makes sense to us. Get the NPV formula using the appropriate interest rate. All right, so if I hit enter here, we see it is positive, and so there's a savings. And in terms of today's dollars, the savings would be $1,456.71. Now we could round that to 1,457. Now, if by chance you wanted to use the assumption that these payments occurred at the beginning of the year, we'd simply move this up and remove the last one, right? So that you've got a payment now and then a payment a year from now, and your cash flows would change a little bit. And so the savings of Rocky Riley Streaming would actually move up. Okay? So you could approach it either way. Either the payment occurred at the end of the first year or it occurred immediately, and come up with what the net present value would be. Okay, I hope you found this helpful.